I just want to say, the PS5 being in this room, in this basement with us, I feel like I'm cramped, you know? Like, just seeing it there, and seeing how big it is, I'm like, oof. Did I allow for this furniture in here?
Yeah, it is. If no one has seen the PS5 in person, it is bigger than the original Xbox by a good margin. It is humongous.
But how do we get to the park?
Although I literally cannot hear it. Are you playing off disc?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
But I think, like, once you install the game, because the SSD is so fast, it basically does not read from the disc at all.
Right.
The PS4 did a thing where it would read off the disc and read the hard drive at the same time, because it was just like both of those parts were pretty slow. But not with the PS5.
It's just, the first one I saw was at George's, and I'm like, man, you can't even hear that it's on. Like, it's ridiculous.
I honestly think that the PS5 is just like a really ugly design, but it runs really nice and quiet.
So
every model of the PS4, regardless if you have the original or the Slim or the Pro, all run loud.
Yes. I think I prefer the Slim as my favorite model because it doesn't have a touch button.
I actually hate it. Do you ever get calls about people being like, I bought a PS4 there and it's really loud, and it's like, well, it's probably just the PS4 being a PS4, but
yeah,
just make sure that it's ventilated. We can switch it out if you want us to, but it's just kind of like the way it is.
It's just loud. So, let's see. I think we're getting to the point where, like, a PS5 Slim would be on the horizon, as weird as that is to say.
Yeah, I mean, the PS5 has already been out for 2 years.
I'm gonna...
They really need to consolidate the design and, like, I don't know.
Okay, so...
just like the PS4 Pro, just make it more simple.
The PS Triple came out in 2006, and then the Slim came out in late 2009, so that's 3 years. So that would be next year, you know, in terms of being 3 years.
Good job.
And the PS4 came out in 2013, and the PS4 Slim came out in 26. Again, 3 years. Wow. That means literally this time next year they'll be like, here's the Slim.
Yeah.
By the way, you're still not able to find the normal one, but the Slim model's out.
I thought you were going to say, by the way, you can actually find it this time.
I guess. I mean, if...
We'll have to fight our way through.
Man, we're getting to the point where the PS5's, like, I don't know, specs are not, like, super high in demand anymore, so hopefully Sony can actually get the chips.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a chip shortage, but it's been going on for so long now.
I can't imagine that it's, like, that crazy. Like, it's not like you're trying to build a high-end 2022 PC, you know?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. No. We're good.
No, you can turn it down a bit. Just not super quiet.
I was just going to do that. And then if we get to
one
talking...
sit down we did it, I was like, man, it's, like, too quiet.
Really?
But this is fun.
Yeah, I'm still, I mean, every time a system comes out, and we can joke about it, like, PS3 literally had no games for, like, 3 or 4 years. But I think the PS5, for being out a little less than 2 years now, has some pretty solid stuff. Generally, I get a little bit worried that games take so god-dang long to make.
Yeah, God of War Ragnarok is finally coming out in a couple days. And, like, it looks very similar to God of War, but man, it's been friggin' 4 years.
Yeah. And it seems like, in general, it's like, they can probably reuse a lot of assets.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're going back to Greece again. It's like, you know, in the same general area. Not that I'm complaining about that. I'm actually completely for, like, reutilizing some assets if it makes the game smoother and come out quicker. I really don't have a problem with that. In fact, that's a reason why a lot of one of the reasons why PS1 and PS2 just had such a huge library. Because, like, a company would make a game and they'd be like, oh yeah, we're going to make this game and it's going to reuse, like, a lot of assets. And it's like, well, that's kind of smart, you know? I would rather have that than Last of Us 2 take, like, 7 years to make or whatever. Last of Us remastered.
What are you doing, Tifa?
Last of Us remake of the remastered. A funky man.
So I'm playing this game without auto win errors. You have to, like, think.
Ugh.
Sucks.
that.
Yeah, you're not gonna get her back till like near the end of the game. Yeah.
Literally, like in Shinra HQ.
It's funny because I did like literally everything in this game, so my playthrough took forever. I think the only thing I didn't end up doing is like the high level stuff in Shinra HQ, the like the battle stuff you had to do.
Yeah, and all the really high level stuff is locked to hard mode, so I could see.
Right. So I didn't play hard mode, so that would be it then. Yeah, but I got everything. You know, I guess. I mean, this is part, I think, 21 in terms of the playthrough, so it's not like it's a short game, but with Trevor just pretty much doing the main story stuff, it's like, I feel like we've been flying through this in a weird way.
No, yeah, we're definitely doing it pretty fast.
I just don't know what I'm going to do when part 2, or whatever that gets called, comes out. Like, I'm going to have to actually play a game again. I was thinking about it earlier today when I was struggling once again to get a part ready for Lifeline Voice Action Adventure, and I'm like, Lifeline literally made me dislike video games, like playing video games. Like, I'm just like, I see a game and I'm like, nah. But once I finish it, I have a feeling that I'll be like, okay. Like, I'll just play something fun again and be like, alright, cool.
Never in doubt.
Not that I play fun games, but...
Yeah, and going back to how I'm flying through this game, kind of... I mean, this game is just really long and linear, but when we get to the very end of the... before Shinra HQ part, I'm going to be doing, like none of the side quests except for the Behemoth one.
What story stuff happens before you go into Shinra HQ?
Sure thing, Coach.
Because at this point in the original, you, like, literally just go
Yeah.
up.
So we're about to start the biggest remake original area. I don't even know if you remember it, but it's the big underground lab.
Oh god, I probably don't remember.
And actually, it's a really weird area because Cloud is separated from you the entire time. By the time you reunite with him, the area's over. So we gotta do this as Barrett, solo for a while, and then just Barrett and Tifa for a boss fight.
Wow. I want to say I remember it, but it's weird. I specifically remember, you know the Airbuster part where it's kind of like a lavish kind of thing, but you have to, like, make all those pieces for Airbuster? I remember that, like, great. I don't know, maybe I'll see it and be like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I think the underground lab area is okay. Being solo Barrett and, like, having his, like, unique abilities is pretty cool, but it's kind of an inconsequential area.
Essentially everyone.
I wish I knew. Sorry.
It's fine.
Weimer, it's 7 p.m. and you made it out of Sector 7. What's the occasion? I made it work.
This is bad.
Made it work, folks.
We did it.
Is this literally it? Like, you go underground and it's like...
Not quite.
Okay.
You like... Well, you'll see.
Looked like there was explosions behind you. I'm acting like I didn't play and beat the game.
Yeah. This area is kind of forgettable.
I will say...
And we have to do another remake original thing, probably this part.
Okay.
I don't know how long this is going to take. It's pretty short.
All I can say is, after you leave Shinra HQ until the game's over, which is like 5 seconds, it is all very much a fever dream to me, and when I watch it again, I'll be like, oh, alright. Like the final boss and all this stuff and being like...
Yeah, the last 10% of this game is very weird.
I, like, vaguely remember what's going on, but it's, like, very anime.
Yeah.
It's just, like, everything that happens is extremely anime.
And the problem is that, like, the original game, just the pacing is perfect. And, like, it just has the right amount of horror, and I think the horror is completely lost in the remake. Like, when you wake up in Shinra HQ, like, you go to sleep, and then you realize that Sephiroth has, like, slaughtered everybody, and there's blood on the walls and floor, but because this game's team, there's no blood at all. You just have weird, like glowing gelatinous goo. It's really weird, and I think it just ruins it.
Yeah.
But, again, I know a lot of people are really hard on this remake. I think this game is generally pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's because
I'm just so familiar with the original.
I was gonna say maybe it's because we've been uploading the videos and whatever, but I've been seeing like recommendations come up being like FF7 Remake is a bad game, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was a bad game, I wouldn't. I promise you, I wouldn't have beat it 100% if it was a bad game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
I mean,
just
already said my complaints for this, but my main complaints for this is just pacing. There's just too much filler. I think they should have. They could have made Midgar longer, but they should have made like an extra sector. Like, let me go. Like, just have an excuse to go to Sector 4 or something, or Sector 3, and like make that a full playable area. But instead, like, you just have like kind of like the basic idea of Midgar. They had this underground lab, but it's kind of autopilot. You just go forward.
Yeah, my dream before this game came out was like, oh my god, what if you can just like, even if it was fast travel, or like in Final Fantasy X where you just pick something off a map, I was like, what if you can literally go to all the sectors?
Yeah.
Like, that would be insane. Now, they did do really good in letting you go on top of the plate. I think that's really cool.
Yes.
Like, that's a really, like, awesome thing they added. But
I think,
when I heard it was Midgar only, I was like, cool, we get to go to all the sectors. Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
but like Midgar in the original game is a fairly short area. Like, if you know what you're doing, you can get through it in a couple hours. But because of the brisk pace, I think it just captures certain moments like perfectly. Like, I said this last part, but the sector fall in the original is objectively better in every way than the remake. The remake pads it out. There's no stakes. Like, it falls, but like almost everyone was evacuated. But in the original game, no one evacuates.
If I'm like looking this, like, if I did not know the original and I was just like seeing these people that like perish in this, I'd be like, why? You had like so long to get out, and like you had warning.
Yeah.
You know, like every single thing about it is like, why would anyone still be in here? There's legitimately no reason.
Yeah, and that's why it just some key aspects are not quite as good.
Whoa.
I also really hope that Tifa's not as, like, I don't know, she's just very, like, placid in this game. I don't know how to explain it.
Hear that?
I'm trying to remember, because Tifa was never my favorite character anyway, but doesn't she have some, like, spunk and stuff?
Yeah.
In the first one? Like, she, like, has attitude, right? Or spunk, or whatever.
Yeah.
This one is just pretty much just like...
Even in Midgar, or the Shinra HQ, like, the very infamous thing where you're going up the 100
Oh, and she
stairs.
yells at Barrett and stuff like that.
Yeah, she calls her...
Come on.
He calls him the R word.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, cat.
Do you know that one, for the original FF7, you know that one item that on the, I think it's the replay of when you go back into Shinra HQ, where you have to, like, start at the top and then go, like, the whole way down the stairs? Like, it's, like, the rarest item in the game because it's, like, so specifically out of the way.
Yes.
Are you... But Behemoth Horn, I think it's called?
I think so, yeah.
I didn't know about that until, like, this or last year.
Yeah,
I literally, like, and we've talked about it, but I know so much about FF7 just because it's just that game for me. I was on GameFAQs for it all the time. I read the strategy guides. I read everything. You know what I mean? And to find out that there's this random item that it's like, it's crazy. That blows me away.
Shinra Underground Test Site. So,
And I think that's a weapon for Red 13, maybe, like one of his best weapons.
yeah, I think so.
But it's just like some of the stuff. And again, FF7 is not a perfect game by any means. Like
No.
the fact that you have to have Barrett at the end of Midgar, right before you fight Hojo to get his ultimate weapon, is really weird. Like, it doesn't even make any sense story-wise. Like, it should be like Cloud or like Red 13. Like, Hojo messed with Red 13. Like, Hojo didn't mess with Barrett. But you, like, have to have Barrett in your party to get it. And if you don't have Barrett, it doesn't even show up, I don't think. I don't even think it's there. Or at the very least, you can't get it. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So it's like... Just stuff like that where you're like, oh, okay.
Let's just change to the strongest. Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
I forget if you. I think you actually have to use like the wrecking ball as like a melee attack in this game.
Keep it like a...
Because we had to do a lot of solo battles, and they're mostly just use some attacks, put some first strike material on you, just plow them down.
Dang, were rats? Woo.
We get to see with some attacks I literally never use because they suck. A lot of Barrett's moves are just like very bad.
Yeah.
Like charge back or whatever it's called.
Wait, go to your abilities. I think that I used go up.
I never use point blank. I never use smackdown. I never use charging uppercut.
I
I
just
never use life. I only
focus
use
shot and
Maximum
Fury, right? That's class. I like that. Not that we haven't seen that before, but
this part's kind of
yeah,
cool.
this part's
just
definitely neat.
I just wish it wasn't like hold square. It's so automated. That's another thing that I'm not the hugest fan of this game. It's just like it's both linear and like very brain dead sometimes. IMO. Alright, come here. Fellas, boosh!
Didn't even take that much for something with such a small area of effect, all things considered.
Let's do it again. It's just moves that like make no sense to actually use. Like, why would you be right next to an enemy as Barrett? Why would you use any of his melee attacks?
I guess the only one would be if like you get like cornered and you're like, oh crap, I gotta get him out of here. Bugaboo! Maximum spike.
Hey!
What the?
That was weird.
Gotta love it.
Okay, come here!
Oh my god, he's literally staggered. What the heck?
Because, like, Maximum Fury didn't target him for no reason. I should probably put on.
Which of my 6 maxed healing will I use?
Barrett's magic is trash.
Where's my behemoth? I honestly forget what that big thing that's rolling.
You don't fight, yeah, it's,
You
something
don't fight
that-
it?
you don't fight it, you fight it later in the side quest, but not now. You fight something else that's lamer.
Bang!
Charging uppercut, here we go. Wow, what a good move.
Shoryuken! Like, imagine using that against a boss. Okay, Gorger. I see you.
The combo, though.
Remember Killer Instinct? Remember how that was, like, made for the Xbox, and then they made it one of those awful, seasons kind of thing?
Yeah, and then the game died, I guess.
Do you want... you start with 8 characters, and then any other character you want is $4 or $5, okay? Can I just spend $60 on a game and get everything? No!
Kind of similar to how Street Fighter V worked. So many DLC characters. And they never made like a specific like Super Street Fighter V where it had like all the DLC characters. Like you had the arcade and the Champion Edition. But if you bought that used, it's just the base game
Right.
on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey! How are you jobbing to little bugs?
I'm really, really hoping, and I don't even know if they'll get to it in the second part, who knows at this point, but I'm really hoping that they do the Dyne part, D-Y-N-E, I almost said Golden Corral, oh my god.
I really hope they don't mess it up.
I really hope they do that right, and like, tell the backstory, and make Dyne be like,
And don't add a bunch of filler.
a very, I don't know, I just want his character to be just extremely, more stoic than, unhinged. I think that they're gonna make him unhinged, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, ugh, da, 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 da. I want him to just be like, F it. Like, this world is awful, I don't care. Like, I want that kind of thing. But, I don't know. I have a feeling it'll be more like, hello, Barrett. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna shoot you for no reason. But here's hoping. I don't know. There's other parts that I really don't care about as much, but like for some reason, like I just really want to see the Dyne part be awesome. Because that's one thing that I would want to have lengthened in the original. They do a lot of great world building and storytelling before you find Dyne, but Dyne is literally just like in one area, and you talk to him, and you have like a cutscene and a back thing, and then you fight him, and then he dies. You know, so if they had, I don't know, just like a little bit more to that, maybe not like necessarily like padding, but something going on.
Ye.
Dyne, 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 Dyne. I don't know. These bugaboos are really what the heck. These bugaboos are really tough, Barrett.
Go, Tifa!
What if every time you had a character, you had to protect them like a whatchamacallit quest?
That'd be epic. Make the game better.
What's the word I'm looking for? I'm having trouble with words tonight.
What are you talking about?
Like Ashley in Resident Evil 4.
Oh, escort?
Escort mission, yeah. That'd be epic. I mean, essentially, when you have Eris in your party, you're escorting Cloud and Barrett through the game, or Cloud and Tifa through the game.
Hey! Okay. Just want to change my thing before I forget when the boss happens. What's the best magic? I think it's light machine.
And you can't. Well, I guess that makes sense. You can't change in the middle of the battle.
Yeah. So the boss that we're about to do, I think we're doing it soon. He's weak to ice, which is why I have Ice Magnify. It's a horde boss too. It's pretty weird to only have 2 characters for this. But not only do we have to do a bunch of stuff, but it's a just you fight like 12 enemies at a time sometimes. Oh, hello. Whatever. I'll just have Tifa do everything. Just do Star Shower, just hits everything.
Need my help, do you? Is this the boss you were talking about, or is this just like a mini boss?
Oh, no. I forget exactly when it happens,
Oh, okay.
but this is not the boss.
Do you have do you have PlayStation Plus?
No.
Okay. There's one indie game that's free this month. I always forget to even check, but it's pretty cool. What's it called again? It's 2 short words. Sorry, my brain is not working tonight. But I wanna I want to briefly talk about it because it's really neat.
Hey, you think Wedge is holding up okay?
Of course he is. He's a lot tougher than people think. Probably sleeping soundly, dreaming about his cat.
Super hot is what it's called.
Oh, I've heard of it.
It's pretty neat. It gives me a lot of
Hell yeah!
I'd say Killer 7 vibes. Not in terms of the story. The story's very bare bones from what I
But
played
in
so
terms
far.
of aesthetics and like
The aesthetics, yeah. And the fact that enemies only move when you move is really cool. So I've never really seen a game quite like it. It's like a first-person shooter that's also a strategy game. You know, which is really neat.
Okay. Yeah, this area is kind of short, weird. I don't know.
But yeah, it's free. You actually probably won't be watching this video by the time. It'll probably be November by the time this goes up. So it was free in October. Hopefully you got it. If not, it's like, I don't know, 10, 15
Free
bucks.
and 1,000 quotation marks.
Yeah. As long as you have PS Plus. You know.
Hey, it might be hold up.
But for what it's worth, it's pretty cool.